HMT is called System Building, Key to Resolving Every Problem and Attaining Every Goal. And the book I wrote also is called the same thing, System Building, the Key to Resolving Every Problem and Attaining Every Goal. So I wrote a whole book on this. And it's not even out of the publishing house yet. It's going to be out tomorrow for the people who are here. But it's already on sale on Amazon, so you could all get it already. But I am particularly concerned about this topic because it's not something that you will see every day. I mean, if I ask here right now that any one of you should raise up their hand, even the people on Facebook, tell me what is the last book you ever read about system building? I don't think anybody, because I look myself. I've been looking for 30 years to get one book on system building that I couldn't get. I got several books that have some topics, maybe one topic inside, or some pages, or some articles, especially in business building, in business world, and in corporate world. A little bit about system, and then in engineering world. That's where I got a little bit about system building. But what I've come up with is, a collage and a process of studying so many things and experience as well to write one book that will be able to teach us about systems. So one book where you could learn everything, at least the basic stuff about system building. So that's what this HMT is going to be about. And I'm going to have some of my people here also helping me to teach and show you people what system building is about. Why is this important? This is important because if you look at Africa, the only country that has a little bit of system in the structure and the building of it will be South Africa. And that reason is because it was built by Europeans, mainly. I think so. Because when I was in South Africa, I discovered that in the main cities that the Europeans built, just like Europe, like America, as good, systemic everywhere. But when I went to the shacks, to the neighborhoods where my people were living, black people like me, it was chaotic. It was very chaotic, So it's like, it's not part of our culture yet. Building systems, working in processes, and just systemic mindset. It's not in our Nigerian culture. Since I was small like this, I've been hearing things like we don't have maintenance culture. So maintenance culture, and people are not saying it like with regret, or they are not saying like it's just like saying, we don't have, as if nothing, it's not a big deal, it's just something we don't have, so forget about it. But they don't know, but it's a real big problem. But I didn't know it was a big problem too, even while I was there, until I started the Embassy of God Church. And when I started the Embassy of God Church, I ran into problems. The first problem I ran into was we were having just 7 people showed up in the beginning. And to get that 7 people to 100, it was like I was climbing Everest Mountain. Because I didn't understand system at that point. But even that is not as bad as after we got to 100, because you could use your charisma, gifts, and things, and talents to get the thing going. So we got to 100. But to move from 100 to 1,000, my God. Because no matter how gifted you are, from 200 upward, 250, you need systems. But then from 500, you need a more complex system. Then from 2,000 or 1,000 to 2,000 to 1,000 and above, you need an even more complex system. So that's when I got to discover that, because when I was growing up in Africa, the idea that I had is that you only need to be anointed and to be able to perform miracles. But that still works in Africa, though. When you perform miracles, the whole city comes to see it. But not in Europe, it doesn't work that way. They don't, the person, even when you perform miracle on, will not show up next Sunday. So what are you talking about? So I discovered that there was something I needed more than the anointing, more than the ability to preach more than miracles. I needed the ability to build systems. But even what I have also now discovered is after traveling to America and traveling to Europe, to England, to Germany, to Switzerland, Sweden, all over the world, I discovered that even ordinary European systems don't know how to build systems. Only professionals do. But the European system, at least they are aware, they have the culture that everything works in systems, but they cannot build it. Only maybe 1 to 2% of the world knows how to build systems. Every other person only operates within systems, but they just explore what is already created by somebody else. But they don't really know how to create it, most people. Here, everywhere, most people don't know how to do it. So that's what we want to attempt to teach you this way. That is the most complicated part of it, but since God has helped me, He has given me what they call grace and anointing. So I think I have the ability to simplify complex stuff. If you have been reading my books, you will see that every complex thing, when it comes to me talking about it, is simplified. And that's my kind of, first of all, I was trained as a journalist. Secondly, I probably have some experience, and I'm a teacher and not a preacher. So I'm going to make this so simple that you will be alarmed, you'll be impressed, I think. And because you will learn it, you will know how to do it by the time we finish. So we are going to simplify it for you, and it's going to work, even though it's the most complex thing. Now, if you are from Nigeria, if you look at Nigeria as a country, it's just a saw, open saw. Go to Lagos. From the airport, chaotic. I mean, it's like the government and the politicians, they are not even aware of what system is all about. So no systems, no processes, no respect. We're not even talking about ordinary people. But I want to believe that as complex as this topic is, you see what is written, system building, the key to resolving every problem and attaining every goal. The good part of it is that no matter how complex it looks or it is in the beginning, once you master it, once you learn at least to live like that, is the most important secret, the most important expertise you could wish you would have. Because it is people who know how to build systems that find and have solutions to any problem, because you just need to build a system for it. It is people who know how to build systems that find answers to every problem, because they just build a system for it. So, for example, there is a book there, How to Find Money for Your Dream. Can you show me the book? So that is a system right there. If you read that book, but I built that system. I came up with that system. When you read this book, How to Find Money for Your Dream, that is a system that I'm offering to the world. So you could use system to find any amount of money for anything you want to do in your life. But that's true system. But not everybody can build that system. But when you read it, some people will be able to use it, as we all use systems, but we cannot build it. Just like hospitals are systems. We all use it, or we even work there, but we don't know how it's all, we cannot from beginning to the end set up a hospital and make it function. That's building. The only people who can build systems do that. But to be able to build a hospital is one thing, but to be able to set up a health system that will include hundreds of hospital clinics, that's a system right there. It's a much more complex system than just building one hospital. Same thing with transport. To be able to, drive a car is different from to be able to build a car. It takes system, the system to be able to build a car. But to be able to use it, everybody can use it. Just like everybody can use. So the same thing in life. But what we are talking about right now is the ability to build. We want to try to teach you the ability to build systems. At least to know the importance of it and to have the idea of how systems could be built, and then to use it to resolve every problem. So because if you can master system building, you'll be able to resolve any problem. You'll be able to solve any, you'll be able to, so you can, because when you put a goal before yourself, what I have been taught growing up in Africa is that you have to believe God. You have to pray to God that God will help you to, it is both God's grace. It is God's blessing, or what is it, God's grace? Or God's favor, God's blessings. You have to pray that that goal you put before yourself will come to pass. But I will not be able to help Africa, and I will never be able to bring Nigeria to transformation if I don't break that mindset. And that's why I wrote that book, Only God Can Save Nigeria. What a myth. It's a myth. Because as long as we are believing that only God can help us to attain goals, because as I'm saying right now, I'm hearing, I'm talking right now, but in the spirit, I'm picking up some things in the spirit. People watching me right now are throwing arrows at me. Yeah, I'm catching it in the spirit, right? So because they are thinking that I'm blaspheming. So, but as long as we as a country keep on thinking that only God can help us attain our goals, we will always be backward. We will always be weak. Only weak people believe or trust God for miracles. Strong people know that life is based on cause and effect. But weak people, they are hoping that something will happen. Some miracles will come. God will answer. Whereas strong people, they are strong because they know life is based on laws. But in my country, when you want to attain goals, even right now, I released a video a few days ago, and I went there to read the comments. If you read the comments, you will just think that these guys, they say I've lost God. How can I say? Because I said, why am I saying I know I can change Nigeria? So people have problem with that. Because they said, no, you shouldn't say you can change Nigeria or you can bring transformation in Nigeria or something like that. Say God will change Nigeria. So that's exactly what I'm coming to change. When it comes to responsibility, they say, oh, you're too proud. Okay, proud. If you see all the way, me, I. Yes, the reason I say I, because I want to change something in our culture. I want to, when you see me live, I'm not using I. But when it comes to responsibilities, anything that has to do with responsibility, yes, I say I, because I'm trying to make a point. I'm trying to change and tell my people that no, leave God out of it. Because God is not going to do it, believe me. So who will do it? My Nigerian people, even if they recognize that God is not going to do it, they will say government will do it. Okay, government will have to do it. Our government is, that's why I say I all the time. Because a Nigerian person will never say I, is either God or government. But I'm saying no, forget government. Leave God out of the thing. God has given us everything already. I'm not going to say you will do it. Somebody will do it. Angel will come. Messiah will come. I'm saying I thought that should make you excited that somebody is taking responsibility. But they are saying no. You are going to kill you now for that. But I know why I'm doing this. I'm doing it intentionally to make you begin to think like that too. When it comes to responsibility, take some responsibility for Christ's sake. Let me hear your position. Okay, I don't want to hear by God's grace. No, that's our language. I don't want to hear by God's grace. I don't want to hear to say, well, we hope. No, I don't want to hear we hope. I don't want to hear, well, in the name of Jesus. I don't want to hear that. Jesus has done his job. Don't put that blame on Jesus. Stop blaming Jesus. Don't put that blame on God anymore. Don't make my God look so wicked that we are suffering so much, praying so much, hoping on God so much, and this God is being so mean and so indifferent to us all these years because it's not his job. That's why I'm coming on stage saying I. Not because I'm putting faith in myself, not because I'm relying on myself, not because I'm saying God is incapable. I'm just trying to teach another culture of responsibility. So when it comes to resolving every problem or attaining any goal, I'm starting already. I've already started teaching them. Because when I'm saying, why this topic? This topic is because we have a culture of having a goal. Our goal is that we want to have a developed country. We want to have good life, good living standard in Nigeria, in Africa. But the way we have gone about it so far is to go to church and say, God will help us. God will do, let's pray. Let's do prayer meetings that God will help Nigeria. Or if we don't do that, we say, this government is bad. They are the bad guys. Let's look for another government. Maybe we'll have a better government this time. That is where we have been. But that mentality removes systemic approach from the whole equation. It removes your responsibility from the whole equation. And it removes the understanding that the answer is here on the earth. The answer is not in heaven. And it also removes the fact that the answer is not with the government. The answer is with every citizen. Every citizen needs to know that I build my country. We want to take responsibility for our country, not leave it in the hand of the government. So when we are talking about system building, that is only for people who have already crossed that hurdle, the first hurdle, the hurdle of thinking is God going to do it. If you are still thinking that God is going to do it, you don't need system building. System building is for people who want to learn how to do things themselves. System building is for people who have come to the awareness that, you know what, I better roll my sleeves up. I need to begin to do something. That's what this HMT is for. And that's those kind of people it is for. Because that's what I'm accused of. Am I debasing God? Am I, laughing at God? Am I neglecting God or, mocking God, make a mockery of God? No. I'm a God lover, for Christ's sake. I'm a friend of God also. I'm a son of God. I'm a pastor too. I've built one of the largest and one of the greatest churches in the world. I know God. But now, God said, the heavens and the heavens of heavens belongs to God. But the earth, he has given to the sons of man. Are you listening to him at all? Are you hearing him? There are matters that pertain to him, but there are matters that pertain to us. So in matters that pertain to us, where he expects us to take responsibility, and we begin to throw it at him again, we are casting a shadow at him. We are pointing accusing fingers at him. That's what we are doing, even if we don't acknowledge that that's what we're doing. So, we are not rubbishing God here. We are not insulting God, that God cannot do it. God, of course, can do everything. But he has limited himself. This God, limited himself to saying, when it comes to the matters of the earth, I have already empowered you to do it. I've given you the power and the grace and the wisdom and the skills to do it. It would be wrong, it would be out of order for God to be dragged into the things that he has already limited himself, that you will be the one to do it. let us make man in our own image and likeness. Then he said, let them have dominion over. You should have it. But to do that, we need systems. We need to know how to, because it said to have dominion over the birds of the air. How will you have dominion over the birds of the air when they are flying in the air and I'm here on the air? You've got to come up with technology. How can I have dominion over the air if I don't know mathematics and physics and know how to regulate gravity and manipulate it in such a way that I will be able to dominate even there where I don't live? He said, have dominion over the sea. I will never be able to have dominion over the sea if I don't build. I've got to find out how to do. That's why systems. I need to find out the system and the way, the construction of constructing some mechanism to be able to dominate over the sea. That's why, even though I campaigned vigorously and I supported Buhari and this APC government, but they are not my heroes. All of them, all Nigerian government for these 50 years or 60 years, including this one, they are jokers. All of them. Because how could you, for example, they built a railway line from Lagos to Ibadan or from Lagos to Abeokuta right now. Big deal. It's their greatest achievement from Abuja to Kaduna. Big deal. Nonsense stuff. Not that it's a bad thing that they did that, because other people, they would do that for the past 16 years that they were there. But how could you be building, for me it's an insult big time. How could you be building that rail line and you are the people who built it for you are Chinese? I'm not, I'm more particular about that. I want, why can't we teach our own people the system out? Because everybody can use something that somebody else has built. Let's find out how systems work. Let's teach our people the ability, the system, the complexity of understanding how to build railways and manufacture our own coaches and wagons and things like that by ourselves, our rails, and put the length that no foreigner will be there. Then I can say you are moving the country forward. But for you to give money and just go there and travel and sign a contract and bring it, our country is about contract signing. What is contract signing? Go and recruit some foreigners to come and do something for you. That is an insult. That is an admission of failure. We shouldn't be signing. Government shouldn't be about going. Government should not be about government. It's contract signing. It should be about making your people to come to awareness, to know how to get things done. Have you ever seen in Great Britain that for them to build ordinary road, they have to go and import Americans to come and build their road for them? Or even in this Ukraine, third world country, they don't import anybody. They don't get Chinese to build road or rail station. They build their own coaches, their own rail system. No, you cannot even hear it. They build their own bridges, their own roads. Because their people have been enlightened. But we are graduating thousands and millions of students who don't do anything. They just want to get employment. Get a job. Because there are no system. It's not in our system. It's not in our mind that our people should be made to know how to do things. Development for me is not to build a Dubai, but to be able to do it ourselves. The skill to do it ourselves. Because what God said is to dominate the earth. That railway station is one of the ways to dominate the earth. The fact that we have railway stations and railway roads and railway rails and things like that, that doesn't mean that we are dominating our own earth, our own land. It is Chinese who are dominating it for us. The fact that we are extracting the oil from there, they are extracting oil. They are building their own machine to do that. If we cannot build our own machine to extract the oil or something, we are not the ones dominating. It is the Dutch and the Americans who are dominating it for us. We are just animals and slaves in our own land. That is what we must change. And my own big Nigerian guys, are they are bragging about the big house they have, that they own. The Rolls, everybody wants to ride a Rolls Royce. Shame. I want you to show me the Rolls Royce that you have built. And you know what? Remember my words. These things will begin to change when I get to Nigeria. Even though I'm not a politician, but I'm going to raise up people who will be. Some of you have already started seeing the sign of that by the people I'm inviting to some of my programs, the innovative and something. I'm going to empower those people. I just need to get out of here. We're going to get them the money. We're going to get people to begin to learn to do things and compete with the world. Jesus said we should dominate this ocean. Where is our submarine? What African country has built a submarine? We are going to build our submarines. I'm going to finance it. I'm going to get people, Nigerians, to be able to sit down in laboratories, research centers. We are going to teach them to build. Now, I'm not just going to give scholarship to people just to go to university and on. No, you must come back from there and show me what you have been able to do or what you have learned to do. This is all about systems. That's why if you think you are waiting for me to begin to talk about serious stuff, and this serious stuff I'm talking about, this system right now. This is what system is about. This is the whole idea. This is why I want to treat this. I want to treat this topic so that we will change our, all our people who are abroad. Look at my people abroad. Over 14 million Nigerians abroad, and you are not seeing many of them, like stars, because they are going to work. They are going to work. What achievement is that? Somebody built a system already, where in the country where you are. You are not learning the system. You are going to work, and you will die. You will work until you die. Because you work there for 5 years, 10 years, 20, 30 years, you discover you are 50 years old. Then you are 60, then you are 70, and they will take your corpse home. You thought you came here to learn and go back to develop your country? And your children, you gave birth to them, then you left them behind, they are going to work as well. And they will also die like that. Because all of us, when I was coming here, we thought we were coming to just get experience, to learn some skills, and go back and develop. But we are not even getting opportunity to learn those things. Because the Uncle Sam has taken a hold of us. We are just going to work for the Uncle Sam as slaves. But we are never given the opportunity to learn how the system works. Because you must survive, you must pay bills. No, it's like when you listen to me, it's like I'm crazy a little bit, I'm angry. But I'm angry because I know how to fix things. Before you leave, we are going to take you to some places to see what people are doing who are drug addicts in the street. Some of them were from psychiatric hospital. Some of them were not allowed into public transport. And you will see what they are building. Just because they were listening to this guy. And I'm a Nigerian. So I'm not going to measure. So when I tell my people when I'm coming to Nigeria, they are telling me, oh, he's going to steal our church members. You think I'm thinking? See what they think I'm thinking about. See what they think I'm thinking about. They said, oh, that's why he's criticizing the GOs. He's criticizing the GOs because he wants to come and build his church in Nigeria. They have made me little like themselves. They think that's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about what the government is not thinking about. You are thinking about church building, church membership. Nonsense. I'm thinking about how to get a few Nigerians together to build our own military complex. Because Buhari went to America and said, oh, America agreed to send the plane to us. the jet, the fight jet, to beat the Boko Haram. So they went and gave some billions of dollars for them because they just agreed to sell for it. I say, what part of the body are these people using to think? But so I saw that. I kept quiet, yeah, but I put my something down, and I'm looking for one guy now because there was a video that I didn't follow it up. There was a video that I saw of somebody was talking about one Nigerian guy that got a scholarship. I think he went to South Africa first. Then from South Africa, a brilliant guy. Then he went to somewhere in Europe. I'm looking for the information. I'm saying it right now. It's a Yoruba name like this. And he's a young guy, maybe 30-something. So somebody was just talking about Nigerians who are doing well. And I didn't record that video. So I'm looking for some guys like that. And I'm going to assemble them. And I'm going to give them work to do. Build our own military complex. We need to build our own submarines. We need to build our own jets. We need to rival America, Russia, and China in military wares. That's the kind of thing we should be talking about. We should, because Jesus said we should exploit the sea. He said we should also dominate the sky, the air, the firmament. So to do that, I think we need to assemble our people also to be able to build our own space complex. These are the kind of things we should be talking about. So that's what I am thinking about. Somebody is thinking about, I'm going to fight for their church members. Are you joking with me? The fact that I'm talking about church right now is just because I realize that, everything starts from the spirit, right? That as goes the church, so goes the country. So I know that if we don't deal with the corruption of the church first, it will be difficult. But church is not going to be my focus when I get to Nigeria. The nation is going to be my focus. And I'm thinking, am I crazy? Why are the other people who are employed to think about this and are not thinking about it? They got a job to think about it. They are not. It's not my I'm just a human being. But I know God has prepared me these 30 years to learn these things like system building so that we will take our nation and our continent from the shame that we are in. I'm not even talking about feeding our people. Forget about that one. And that is just, $1. Anyway, system building. The idea I'm trying to pass across is the ability to build systems can resolve any problem. We can build systems that will resolve the problem of lack of food and lack of productivity for our people. A system can be built. People are talking about apps these days, or what they call upstarts, or what they call them. Is it? Startups, yeah. People are talking about startups. Those are systems. But they are limited to some areas, some electronics and technical something. But I'm going to talk about system as a holistic thing. But we have to teach our primary school people need to know how to do startups. You know what? Maybe that one will be interested. You might not be interested in that because we didn't plan for this. Maybe we should plan to expose them to or take them to some of the robotic centers that Igor and Sasha are having. Yeah, maybe we should organize such a thing. Are you interested in robotic centers?
Yeah.
But I'm looking at the ladies. Maybe they will not be interested in that. Try to see if we could arrange that as well. Our children are supposed to, in every school, we are supposed to have those kind of robotic centers. So that we will teach them to build system already for every situation, every problem we have in the country. Build system for example, for kidnapping. Yeah, build against kidnapping, that is. build system against, hunger, food, build system for preservation of fruit, build system. So these are the kind of things we need to, for anything. Yes, everything. So this is why we are talking about system building. If you learn the skills, if we teach our people and our children the ability to build systems, people will still be in primary school, but they're already building apps and startups, and solutions to anything that is a problem in the country. For example, we have children hawking. By the time we teach people in primary school about what system building is, they will be able to build a system to replace human being hawking in the street. That's why system building is. These are the kind of things we need to begin to talk to our people about. System building against rape, for example. Build system for everything. So these are the kind of things I'm thinking our people should be talking. And I've been able to do it here with people who never went to school. And it's a shame for me that the only thing my own people are thinking about is church members, church buildings. And they don't know that those church members, they are really resources for them. Because if they will empower them, open their eyes like this, teach them this kind of skills to resolve every problem, to attain any goal, and set them loose upon, they will be like, what they call saranches in Russia, that's grasshoppers. They will just release them like grasshoppers all over the land. Grasshoppers, when they invade a farm, they will just, that's what we should do. Release all these people, church members, not to keep them in those buildings, but teach them skills so that they will invade the whole country like grasshoppers. Yeah, like locusts, like locusts. Consuming all the problems, resolving all. That's what, not keep them there every week, and they're just like slaves, like packed sardine, or what we used to call them. We lost the purpose of church and church membership. All of them are supposed to be empowered to be able to resolve at least one conflict matter in the society. So, but I'm really very sorry that I've been misunderstood. Largely by my Christian community. They think that I'm just an enemy of the church now, and I'm against the Nigerian church. But that's not my heart. If anybody is listening to me now and watching me, believe me, God knows, this is not my heart to bring down your pastors or your GOs or destroy Nigerian church. That's not what I'm about. Believe me. I don't know what to say, but God knows. I'm only pained and disappointed that I want to wake them up. I want to make them get it. I'm only alarmed. I'm frustrated, angry, but please don't miss out on what I have to offer because of my tone or my method you don't like, or my mentioning the names of your pastors. Even if you hate me, but take the things I'm trying to propose. Because if you be able to use your people, don't let your people miss out on some of these things. Because if you let them know some of these things we are offering, it's going to benefit them, it's going to benefit you, it's going to benefit the whole country. But if you make them miss out, then the Muslims will come and get it. Because system building is so key. System, the ability to build system will bring you to resolve any problem. Look at Bill Gates. He built a system. And thanks to that, see the problem he has resolved. Just by making everybody have a computer. Steve Jobs built his own system. See what is happening with that in Africa. Everybody has a cell phone now. That is because somebody built a system. And these people are not wasting time in church or praying. They were learning to build systems. And once they built it, we are all enjoying it now. We don't think they are demons now. We think they are heroes. Mark Zuckerberg built a system. He didn't pray about it. He didn't say God should help him, or only God can do it. But the system he built is bringing solution. So the idea about system is that system building gives you the ability to be able to resolve any problem you put your heart to. NASA, have you ever, is it the NASA you call it? Or NASA? NASA? NASA, American NASA. That is a whole complex there, building system to resolve different issues. The American industrial complex, that's a whole system there. Just scientists, just like our people, they pack them in church. America pack their own people in NASA, pack them in industrial complex to be thinking on how to build systems. We pack our own in churches. And what they do in church is not training them to do these things. So what they do is praying to God that God should come and do it. But it's out of God's jurisdiction. It's not God's jurisdiction. Some people are now here that they don't just stay in church to pray. They go to some mountain somewhere. And some of them will be there for 3 weeks, 2 weeks. Yeah, that's what I heard. And not just 1 or 2 person goes there. That people go there like in thousands. Some mountains have at a time 1,000 people. So we are in trouble. Because they are not learning anything. They are just remaining like animals. Docile. But if you teach them to build systems, system building gives you the ability to be able to put your heart at any problem at all and be able to build a startup or a solution or an app to it. You know, the whole world is now building apps. Those are system building. You know, apps, you can build any app to resolve any problem. That's system building. You can create any startup to build any problem. That's what we are talking about. Systems is the ability. Anybody that has the ability to build systems can resolve any problem. That is what it's all about. System building makes you to be able to resolve any problem once you have the skill. You just need to define the problem and then use other principles that I will teach you later this way. Once you learn to do it, just identify what you want to resolve. So system building will give you the ability to resolve any problem. Corruption, you can build a system to resolve it. Traffic, you can build a system to resolve it. And also, system building will give you the ability to attain any goals. Because a lot of us have goals. Like I said, with Africans, with Nigerians, we believe God and God will help us to do it. It is by God's grace. But God has already given you that grace. Don't worry about that again. It's just like saying, your son or your daughter is coming to you and saying, they said I need my last name, my surname, to be able to get admission to that place. You don't need to come back to me for your surname. You already have the surname. Go use it. And then you are coming back and say, I didn't get admission. What happened? I want to come and find out from you. Please come and give my surname to them. You crazy? Same with God. He has already given us all we need for good life and godliness and, life. Everything is given. He has already given us everything. So for us to be coming to him to say he should do it, it's like madness. So when you have a goal, learn the skills how to attain that goal. Not be asking God to come and do it for you. All right, now I will go to my notes. I was just talking out of my heart at first, out of my passion. So our topic is system building is the key to resolving every problem and attaining every goal. The book, how many of you know, how many of you has Kindle? If you have a Kindle, you can get that book on Kindle. Okay, the system building book. But if you want the physical one, we'll have the physical one tomorrow here. Okay, so who will be helping me to read? Are you the one reading?
Okay, I can give it a go, sir.
Huh?
Yeah,
Okay, are you ready for it?
I am ready.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. God created everything.
Let's start with. Let's
Okay.
start here.
System building, the key to resolving every problem and attaining every goal. God created everything by laws and certain principles. Life works by certain identifiable principles. That is why life is predictable.
Okay, stop. This is fundamental. Anybody that has been listening to me will know I always talk about life is predictable. I have a whole book about that. And I also have another book that's saying my greatest discovery in life. My greatest discovery in life is more detailed about life is predictable too. But if you don't know this principle, you can never understand systems. And also, if you are here or you listen to my last HMT about how to plan your life for the next 25 years, that is the same principle. That was a system. But that system was not created by you. That HMT, 25 years something, it was a system that I created. And I use it to teach you. You people could use it and come up with your own life goals and everything. But it's not the system that you built. I built it. But now, why this HMT is superior is because now I'm going to teach you how to come up with your own systems. So, to be able to build system, any system, you must know this principle. God created everything by laws and principles, even God. But what that means is that God created everything. Listen to this. You must not miss this phrase. This is different from what is written here. What is written here is that God created everything by laws and principles. Shut up. God created everything by laws and principles, right? That's God. But more than that, what you need to know is this. That's not the thing you need to know. What you need to know is that God created everything to function by laws and principles. Okay, who will explain to me the difference between the two? God created everything by laws and principles, and what I just said now. God created everything to function by laws and principles. Who can explain to me the difference?
Yeah, as you were speaking, I just jotted that God, first of all, put those laws and principles in place, then now use those same laws and principles to create the universe that we know of today. But at the same time, those objects, whether I call it matter or whatever he created, he subjected them to those same laws and principles.
Okay.
So everything revolves around those laws and principles.
Right, but what relationship does that have to us?
Meaning we cannot function, or we will not be able to, I'm looking for the word now, will not be able to operate the way God wants us to operate if we ignore those laws and those principles.
Yeah, that's true. But that's on one hand. But listen to my assignment again. And I want you to put anybody that wants to just raise your hand, we'll give you the microphone. So there are two statements. One is what you see here. God created everything by laws and certain principles, right? By laws and principles. But I am now saying another statement, which I want you to get. That God didn't just create everything by laws and principles, but God created everything that everything he created, that they may function only by laws and principles. Or not only, but by laws and principles. That God created everything to function by laws and principles. Who wants to explain the difference between the two? Yes.
Yeah, right. Okay, yes. The way I understand it is that now these laws and principles have already been created, they are established, and there is a desire in God's heart that they should work in a particular manner. Now, the way that will be is that, take for instance, man is to take dominion. So man is to apply those principles, is to allow those principles to come into a manifestation, so for the purpose of God to be fulfilled, therefore, those laws and principles have to be activated, they have to be put to work, they have to come into reality. Therefore, if something, for instance, planting seed, for a seed to grow, the seed has to be put to the ground, has to be watered. So as long as those things are being put, then it will function.
Your thought is clear, is correct, but that's not what I'm looking for. You, the Norwegian lady wanted to say something. What's your name again? I forgot. Leave, yeah.
I maybe not, but I think maybe we have to convert this word, convert it to physical product.
Yes, we have to, but that you are running ahead now. That's not what I wanted to say. You wanted to say something, Bola?
Yes, sir. I just want to use Genesis chapter 1. When God see that the earth and the heavens were not created the way it was, but he used the laws and principle to create what he wanted.
Right.
Like he said that, and he spoke light, and light appeared.
Right.
So that means that it was darkness, and he needed light. And that is the law he was guiding for us to take the dominion, before we start taking dominion.
Now, that you have just explained this statement, but I now want you to explain the other statement that I made. So that's a bit different. So you wanted to say? Okay. Okay, somebody that is closer to you behind there.
Somebody pass it. What I put down is that man have a path to follow.
In the microphone. Yeah.
Man have a path to follow based on what God has already put in place.
Yes.
So he has given us a brain.
Yeah.
So we have to think of how to make things work.
That is also correct, but that's not exactly what I'm waiting for right now.
What I understand is God has created us, and then we now need to put that creation into functioning.
Okay. So what was the place of laws and principles in that? Okay. Stose. Okay, the two men are there, yeah. Back. Yeah. Okay.
My understanding, I'm relating it to the topic we are discussing today, system building.
Speak louder.
Okay, system building. Now, God has already established the laws and principles.
Can you stand? Even if you stand, we cannot see him. Can you try to stand? Okay, it's okay. Good.
Now, there is a system, God has already established laws and principles.
Yes.
And now, how do we function as individuals? There must be a system in place.
Beautiful.
Which we have to follow, or we have to establish in order.
Okay.
Then in that system, there are subsystems that will enable the entire system to function.
Right.
Like we have our body function.
Right.
We cannot be complete without a particular aspect of our body.
Right.
So, functioning now based on laws and the principles of God has to do with setting up a system.
Yes.
That will make us to work effectively.
You are very, very close. Very, very close. You catch it, but before you get it, let's give it to the man at the back. You're very, very close. Yeah, you know when you almost hit it, and you almost got it.
What I would like to add is, because God has created laws and principles, He has given us the ability to also create. But creativity comes from following those laws and principles. It comes from using the principle that already been established by God. So just like if you say transport, you want to move from one place to the other. God has given us the muscles, the legs, but if you stand on one place, you won't move. So you need to stretch, you need to exercise, you need to overcome the law of gravity, you need to use the principle of extending your muscles. So that would be
Beautiful, closest, very close.
So creativity, innovation works based on the principles and laws that God has given us.
Beautiful. But let me help you put through. You were all very close, but let me do this. What I said, see what is written there. God created everything by laws and certain principles. What was the problem? Maybe because it fell. Is he okay now? Can you hear me now? Okay. I don't know I'm having a challenge with this. Okay, so this is what we have here. God created everything by laws and certain principles. Right, okay? But I made another statement, a parallel statement to that. And what I said is, God didn't just create everything to work by certain laws and principles, but God also created everything to work in to function by laws and principles. God created everything by laws and principles on one hand, but he also made everything he has created, he makes them to function by laws and principles. What does that mean? That is for our sake. So it means that everything that is created, you will not have a shock. They will not surprise you. For them not to surprise you, God created them and subdued them, subjected them to laws and principles. That's what you should get. God has subjected the flow of water to the law of principle. They don't flow opposite. They flow like that. They have been subjected like that. Gravity, God has made it fixed. He cannot shock you that gravity will not work. No, it will work. He has subjected it to that law, that this is the law of gravity. Trees grow. He has subjected it that when a seed is planted, it will grow for you to be able to be easier for you. So everything that is created is subjected to laws and principles. Why? So that we will not be in confusion, so that we could predictably look at any area of life, find out the laws and principles upon which they have been subjected, and be able to predictably do anything we want with them. I don't know if I am making a point. So, he didn't just create, on one hand, he created everything by laws and principles. But more importantly, he subjected them. Everything he created, he submitted them to laws and principles. That they will not go out of those boundaries of laws and principles. You can't hear me again? Что это за проблема? Я же не трогаю. So, those things are subjected. They are subject to those fixed laws and principles. So I think the law, maybe the word which you don't have here that is missing is the word fixed. Remember the word fixed. The word that is not here is fixed. Everything is subjected to fixed laws and principles. So life is not a mystery. If you get that, you will understand that life is not a mystery. If you will understand those laws and principles, everything in that regard becomes predictable to you. Because they are fixed. Okay, for example, law and principle. Let's take fish. Fish has been subjected to the law that they survive only in water. Because of their components, it's fixed. So you cannot be confused to think that if I bring this fish out of the water and I put it on the floor, it will leave. No, you already know it's fixed. You also already know that the trees They will grow only where there are nutrients in the soil. Fixed. So you will not live in illusion that the trees will grow in the air or on the cement. Fixed laws. So if you make a mistake of uprooting it from the soil, you know what will happen to it. It will die. Fixed laws. Like I talk about rivers. Rivers don't flow backward. They flow forward. Fixed laws. That is very important for dominion to happen. If we, because God has done it, that is God. But he subjected everything. So that if I come and plant a seed, I know the end result of that seed. Subjected. That seed must grow if I put it on the soil. A man and a woman will mate. They will be pregnant, subjected to laws. Fixed laws. So now I can calculate. I can build a system to resolve anything I want. Because I know the fixed laws. I can approach them, I can dominate them when I know. Because the whole idea is that we would dominate them. But can you imagine that God didn't put them under fixed laws? How will you dominate them? Because you come today, he's still swimming in the water, and you come today, he's not there, he has gone for a walk in the bush. You know, then you will never be able to dominate. Gravity today, you know that people fall, or gravity works. Then you come up tomorrow, gravity doesn't work. No gravity, you just know you are not falling. You will not be able to dominate. So God didn't just create everything by laws and principles, but even more importantly, God subjected everything in earth and in the universe to fixed. That's why we can explore the space. We can explore the heavens. We can explore the atmosphere. We can explore the earth, the sea, everything. We can dominate.